Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Chef Rob. Fall is here, so that certainly means pumpkin, apples, anything like that, sweet potatoes. So today we're going to use some pumpkin. We're going to make a sweet cinnamon spice chocolate pumpkin bread. So let's get started. We're going to add our dry ingredients. It's 1 3/4 cups of the all-purpose flour. You want it nice and spooned and level. So you want to overfill it and then just kind of give it a nice little swipe just like that. Add it into, use the large bowl for this one. I'm going to put in my 1/4 cup and then a 1/2 cup. So we have 1 3/4 cups of the flour. This is a quick bread, so you could start your oven actually at this point. You could put it on 350. Okay, it will take about 60-65 minutes, and you could always take a little piece of aluminum foil and just kind of tent it over the bread so that way it doesn't get too dark. Okay, so we have our flour in here. We're going to add 1 full teaspoon of the baking soda. Just shake it till it's nice and level, just like that. And then this one has a lot of cinnamon in it, so it's got 2 teaspoons of the ground cinnamon. Just kind of shake it to where it's level as well. And now our other spices, we're going to use some ground nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon. So we use less on the other spices because you're going to really taste the cinnamon here, but these are just going to give it a nice balance. And some ground cloves. Ground cloves are a 1/4 teaspoon as well. They could be a little strong in flavor, so that's why we stick with the 1/4 teaspoon. And then some ground ginger, a 1/4 teaspoon. Well, if you get a little clump, just kind of put it back and get it nice and level like that. And then the salt, we're using 3/4 teaspoon, so I'm using a 1/2 and then a 1/4. And what the salt will do, it will just bring out all these flavors in here, and then also the pumpkin. Now with pumpkin really doesn't have a lot of flavor, so that's why you add a lot of spice to it, and it really helps it along. Okay, so just mix it just like this. Leave this to the side. A whisk just to mix it is really helpful. So now in a medium bowl, take 2 room temperature eggs. Take them out about an hour ahead of time. Just crack it, put it right in there. And then we're going to add the sugar to it. I can't tell you how important it is to have the full amount of sugar. Okay, so it does have a lot of sugar, so if you are trying to cut back on sugar, just cut yourself a smaller piece. So you're going to have a 1/2 cup of the white granulated sugar, and then 3/4 cup of the either the light or the dark brown sugar, nice and packed. So I'm adding a 1/4 cup and then a 1/2 cup. Let's make sure, again, nice and packed like that. Now we're going to whisk this. As soon as this is whisked, we are going to take it and we are just going to add in our pumpkin, our olive oil, our vegetable oil, and our orange juice. So you just want to whisk out all the little clumps of the sugar. Just like this. Now you can use canola oil, you can use vegetable oil, or you can use some melted coconut oil. So whatever you want to put in there, you can. Just scrape up against the side of the bowl. Okay, we're going to add in the pumpkin now. So I want to add in 1 1/2 cups of pumpkin. This is going to make a nice large bread. So I'm just going to scoop it like that. There's 1. Make sure you're using the solid pumpkin, or they would say on the can, the pumpkin puree. Okay, that would be the same thing. So this is the correct amount. I'll put this over here. So let's just whisk in the pumpkin. And then we're going to add in the 1/2 cup of either melted coconut oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil. Make sure it's exactly a 1/2 cup. And then we're going to put in some orange juice, a 1/4 cup of orange juice. It really does make this a really nice flavor. If you don't have orange juice, just substitute like about a 1/4 cup of milk. So I'm going to add that in there. We're going to whisk this, bring it all together, and we're just going to kind of gently fold it in with the flour ingredients. And then we'll add in our chocolate chips. I like to use the semi-sweet chocolate chips. We use about 2/3 of a cup on that. So this is going to make a really, really large loaf. So we're just going to pour this in just like this. Let's get a spatula to get all that good spice and pumpkin out. And now just kind of bring it all together. You don't want any lumps left in it. I add the chocolate chips after I get this all where the flour is all mixed in and combined. Okay. When this comes out of the oven, just let the bread cool completely in the pan on a wire rack, and then you can start slicing it. This freezes really good. It'll stay good at room temperature for 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator. 7 to 10 days it'll actually stay very, very good. So and also freezing it is really good for this too. Okay, so this is all together nicely. Just get all that side here. 3/4 of a cup of the semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now some of you may have seen my pumpkin bread recipe from last year. This is a total different recipe. Each year we got to come up with new different recipes, so this one I think you're really going to enjoy. Okay, now what we want is to get our 9x5 loaf pan. We're just going to give it a quick spray. You don't want a little puddle in there, but you do want it to just kind of be covered everywhere. We're going to pour all this batter in here. It will not go over in your oven. It will just get nice and high. A lot of batter. Pumpkin in the can will last sometimes like 2 to 3 years. Okay. We'll always check the dates when you buy it at the supermarket, because sometimes it's left from the year or so before. Okay, so really check on that. Okay, I just want to make sure it's nice and level, just like this. Okay, so I'm going to take the aluminum foil, and I'm just going to kind of tent it, just like this. Okay, and it just kind of protects it when it's in the oven. This is going to go in a 350 oven, and it will be in there for about 60 to 65 minutes. Put a toothpick in it to check it after maybe about 50 minutes. Okay, everybody's oven's a little different, cooks a little bit differently. So our sweet cinnamon pumpkin chocolate bread took 65 minutes exactly. Okay, so I'm just going to take this out of the pan. Just be very careful, just in case anything sticks there. Okay, make sure it's cooled and put it on a wire rack. Just going to show you the inside of the bread, what it looks like. It is super moist. There it is, and you could just see how it's kind of like a spongy type of cake to it. So it's really, really delicious. So I'm just going to put this on this plate just like this. And if you want to change this and make this into little muffins, like a medium-sized muffin, there's so much batter here that you would get 15 to 18 muffins out of it, okay? And then it'll probably take about the 24, 26 minutes, but depends how much you fill it up, okay? Remember, it's not really going to spill over the batter. It's only going to go higher. So it's really good. Use this recipe all fall into Thanksgiving. Enjoy it. Thank you for always watching. Bye-bye.
Like a lemon drops high above the chimney top, that's where